Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. In today's video, I wanted to talk about the pretty wild and insane ending that The Lost World almost got, where the T-Rex that was brought to San Diego would have had to fight the United States military on the mainland. During the development of the second Jurassic Park movie, many different storylines and scenarios were tossed around before they landed on the narrative that we're all familiar with today. These earlier plot lines would have incorporated all kinds of different ideas that never made it into the final release. The Super Raptor, a freakish genetic abomination, was cut early on because Spielberg felt like that would lean too far into horror, and earlier drafts that followed Michael Crichton's second book more closely ended up getting discarded as well. But one of the very last things that was considered and ultimately implemented into the final film was the transition to San Diego. This was an idea Spielberg wanted in JP2 for a long time, but it actually didn't get inserted into the final script until around 3 weeks before they started filming. Now, during these late conversations on how they should do the whole dinosaur in the city sequence, David Koepp and Steven Spielberg started to come up with exciting scenarios that they believed the audience would enjoy while watching the movie. And one of these scenarios happened to be that dinosaur versus the military plot point. Now, all of the following information that I'm about to go over comes directly from Jody Duncan's book, The Making of the Lost World. Specifically, this excerpt can be found on page 74. Having set up the premise of the T-Rex in the big city, Spielberg, Koepp, and the art department began to toy with a barrage of ideas and images, some workable and some not. We tried to imagine all the things the Rex could do now that he was in an urban environment as opposed to a jungle, Lowry recalled. The Navy SEAL base is right there on Coronado Island, so there was some talk of doing a SEAL versus the dinosaurs kind of thing. Eventually, ideas had to be winnowed down to something that was dramatic but manageable, and not too silly. Okay, right now, before I go any further, I want to know how many of you think this would have been a good idea. If you're someone that's interested in seeing something like this in a Jurassic movie, let me know in the comments down below. And let me know why you think they should do this. I'm genuinely curious to hear what you have to say. So, at some point that was pretty late in the story's development, Spielberg and his team of filmmakers were thinking up ideas on how this lone T-Rex could go up against the United States Navy SEALs, and on their base, no less. The decision to back off on this idea was a really good call in my opinion. I think if they had really tried to show that T-Rex invading a United States military base, that would make for some really cool imagery, but it would realistically only last for a few minutes, if even that long. Pitting dinosaurs against humans with that kind of firepower doesn't really work in the context of Jurassic Park, as far as I'm concerned. Even back when I was reading through the Raptor comic book storyline, where the US government went into Isla Nublar in order to capture all of the animals, the imagery of a JP T-Rex going up against a tank is just way too unrealistic, no matter how they try to show it. If this scene had been implemented into The Lost World, and the military had either killed the dinosaur, or if the dinosaur somehow miraculously got away, I just don't think a lot of people would have enjoyed that very much. This film series isn't exactly the most realistic in terms of physics or actualized science, but I do think that there is a fine line that they know they should never cross. And if you're asking me, pitting Navy SEALs against a T-Rex on one of the United States bases is definitely one of those. This is probably one of the reasons Colin Trevorrow has made it clear that he doesn't want to feature dinosaurs invading cities and doing war with human beings in the next Jurassic movie. Can you imagine what it would look like if Malcolm, Grant, Sattler, Owen, and Claire had to watch the military exterminate dinosaurs that were wandering onto US bases Godzilla style? I don't really think that would be a very long movie to watch. But hey, if you're someone who thinks that there is merit in these ideas, I'd love to know why you think so.
Donald, let him talk. There's no reason. No, I want to hear every viewpoint. I really do.
Yeah, don't you see?
Now, as always, this video wouldn't be possible without the support of my awesome game wardens, as well as all of my engine executives. I'd also like to thank all of my park workers and engine hunters as well. Their continued support has really been a lot of help to me when making this stuff, and I never want them to ever forget it. So a big thank you to each and every one of you for watching this video. If you feel like I deserve it, I'd appreciate the like and hope you'll consider subscribing. See you on the next one, guys, and as always, take it easy.